Dr. Rick Melmer is the director of the Leadership South Dakota program. Dr. Melmer founded the program in 2014 and has been instrumental in its move to a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Leadership South Dakota inspires leaders for a stronger South Dakota by connecting individuals who will invest in themselves, engage in their communities, and elevate the state. This nonprofit organization accepts 40 candidates yearly and builds leadership, critical thinking, and public speaking skills through instruction and experience. Through this program, individuals expand their knowledge of South Dakota and gain a deeper understanding of the industries that are vital to the state.
Rick Melmer, we have known each other a long time, and the conversation we are going to engage with is South Dakota Leadership and the partnership that is with the South Dakota Hall of Fame. But before we jump into that, how did you find yourself in this position with South Dakota Leadership? How did you get there?
Well, it probably goes back to about 2013. My wife and I were visiting some friends in Wyoming that we knew. And Dan, our friend from Chugwater, Wyoming, had just finished a Leadership Wyoming program. And he was raving about the program and the impact that it had on him. He wanted to run for state office. He eventually did, and he won and served in the state legislature in Wyoming. But he talked about the impact that that program had on his current life and current position. And so my wife and I drove home from Wyoming, which was a long drive, and we talked about it for a long time. And then I just started to slowly reach out to people in South Dakota that had influence. South Dakota Community Foundation, a couple of our gold sponsors, First Premier Bank in Sanford. And they just really encouraged me to say, this is a program we think our state needs, a program that would be good for our state. And that was in 2013, and our first class started in 2014, and we're going to be bringing our 8th class in this fall.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's because you had to start it from the ground floor, right?
Yeah, but we had models. Other states
Right.
were up and running. So Wyoming was instrumental in helping us get started, and Montana was instrumental in helping us get started. So we talked to states that we thought were kind of like us, big rural states that had a lot of distance between communities, and just said, how do you do it? And then we used their model, kind of tweaked it to fit South Dakota, and we were off and running.
So that scenario of how you decided to take this next step in your life, how do you teach that?
So one of the things we do in Leadership South Dakota is we have what we call 2-minute messages, where we encourage people to speak on a topic. And one of the topics is a time when my life changed for the better.
Okay.
And so we ask everybody to bring a topic to share. And you would be surprised, in our group of 40, how many of them talked about a time when I took a chance that made no sense. It didn't really add up, but I did it because I was passionate about it, and my life's been better ever since. And so I think a lot of times people start to hear that, and many of them are going, I have that same feeling. I feel like I want to do this, but I'm now doing this. And it isn't always about switching jobs. It might be about running for office and staying in your current job, or it might be starting a nonprofit and staying in your current job. So it isn't always about leaving jobs. But I think it's like trying to get people in touch with what are you passionate about, and then are you spending your time investing in those areas. So I feel like when they hear other people's stories, they start to think, maybe I can do that too. Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of, I'd be interested in your thoughts on that, Greta, that I feel like that's your role, is to tell the stories. Now, most of the folks that are in the hall are well-accomplished people. They did a lot of earthly things that everybody would recognize as being important. But most of the time, they've had this individual impact on people around them that was really significant.
I think you've really put the emphasis on what this means. And I think you and I are both working that in a way that perhaps is in a bigger picture than this state has seen. And I would say the timing of that is essential.
We're grateful for the partnership, Greta. We think we represent the bookends. You represent those that have gone before us, have accomplished significant things, and you're telling their story. We're trying to create more candidates for the Hall of Fame by
Yes, you are.
investing in young leaders, younger leaders, or leaders that are on their way on their journey, leadership journey, and we're trying to invest in them that they in turn can make those same contributions in the future. So I'm grateful for the partnership, thankful for your support and your friendship, and let's keep it going.